and success. This is an introduction to neuro-linguistic programming. I'm sharing my presentation with you. So I am Dr. Doris, and I have been training for 35 years plus. I'm a true senior of neuro-linguistic programming, and I'm connected to the originators of NLP who come directly from California, Santa Cruz, and I have traveled 3 continents in my last 30 years, and I'm very versed in psychotherapy, counseling. I'm a naturopathic doctor by origination. I'm also a corporate trainer. I go into corporates, elicit the situation, and then custom design trainings around team enhancement, leadership, emotional intelligence, or change management according to the group's need. I love to work with people. I love people. And I have invested my whole life to be able to create change most practically, most immediately, and most long-lastingly. So I have a little story for you, and that is the story of how I came to know about NLP. May I?
Yes, please do.
So basically, I was a young counselor. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Kiati, you are so welcome. I was a young counselor, and I was learning to be a counselor and to effectively handle all kinds of difficulties people deal with. And so it was a counseling training, 3 months, 3 times, part 1, part 2, part 3, very extensive. And we were 26 in the group, and we had 7 meta psychologists, the trainers of the course. And so I remember so dearly this one situation where I was having one client, her name was Karen, and I had given her 7 sessions so far. She had what was called depression. And the situation was such that all the students were in the room, and then we counselors were on a stage with the client and with the meta trainer. So I'm trying to portray this to you. So the client would be here. The counselor would be here, and then the meta trainer would be here. And so finally, it was my turn, and I came with Karen on stage, and Karen would move like this, very slowly. Her breathing was low, and she would typically say, "It's so difficult. It's so difficult." And as she said, "Oh, did I make you co-host, Pia?" So as she said, "It's so difficult, it's so difficult," she sat down and she looked down, and her breathing was kind of heavy. Here was Tanya. She was one of the trainers who I so very specially liked. She was so charismatic. She just had something. At that time, I didn't know what it was that she had. So basically, all the clients knew that they are there for learning. They were fine that their case was revealed, and they were fine to openly discuss it, and everybody would basically give input, ask questions, and everybody was there to learn. So I openly declared to the whole group, 26 counselors with 26 clients, that I had spent 7 sessions with Karen, However, I was not satisfied with the result. Little declaration of her depression, etc. And then there was this moment of silence. Everybody looking at Tanya, the meta trainer. Tanya looking at Karen and saying, what did you think was your difficulty? And Karen looked up with a curiosity, and I already knew something is going on. Then Tanya asked, maybe what you thought was your emotional difficulty is actually just a signal for you to do something differently. And what would that be? I never forget until today, for the total of my life, that Karen, I think Pia is not there and I have to always click for people to come in. Pia, can you allow people to come in? And Karen looked up and she had this aha on her face. And guess what? She didn't even say much. All she said was, oh, that. But she was so erect and she had a little red on her cheeks. Now, she was not smiling, like her mouth corners wouldn't go up, but her mouth corners were a little slightly different. She looked totally different. She moved different of the stage, like that, more erect and with a different breathing. She simply left. And I was in the middle that, and I said, what did just happen? I would all reveal everything openly and loudly. So I said, what just happened? With 2 questions, you created more result than me in 7 hours. Whatever you asked her and however you used your language was amazing. Please, could you say that again? Please, could you say that again? And Tanya said, maybe what you thought was your emotional difficulty is actually just a signal for you to do something different. So all the clients said goodbye, everybody learned a lot. Then all the counselors came onto this stage. So we would all sit together with the 7 meta trainers and psychologists. And of course, I couldn't wait. And somebody has to turn their video off, because if your noises are disturbing to others, we better turn the audio off. Who has that noise in the background? So then when we were all together on stage, I was asking, so what made you ask these questions? What made you know to say something that turned around, very quickly? May I ask everybody to turn to yourself, please? Let me just see. So I'm concerned about you, not about me. I would like to be sure that you don't, that you are not disturbed. Let me just quickly go into this here, into participants, and then into muting. Looks like everybody is muted. Oh, maybe, I think everybody is muted now. Super. All right. So then, I'm here. So then she said, if you look at people as having problems, you may lose your eye of the goal. I believe that people don't have problems and people don't need fixing. People just need to learn how to reorganize their patterns of thinking. Whoa! I was amazed by what she said, because all these years as a naturopathic doctor, learning all these therapies, I spent 12 years of my life with all these different therapies, and in the basement beating pillows for anger, and crying therapy and laughing therapy, and hours and hours and hours of primal therapies, and looking at the traits that you adopt from parents and understanding what your problems today have to do with your past. And here's my teacher saying, if you focus on the problem, you lose your eye of the goal. But at the time that she was saying that, it made so much sense to me, of course. And then she said, I also choose to believe that people always do the best that they can. Otherwise, they would already do different. And again, I was just flabbergasted. You know the clunk experience, when you have like a very big aha experience? Can I see hands? Who knows that? Yay! So I had this clunk experience, and of course wanted to know from Tanya so much more. So I asked many, many more questions. Like I asked Tanya, you did not even ask her about her depression. You did not ask her how long she has it. You did not ask her since when she has it. You did not ask her whether her mother and her grandma, I mean, took me 3 sessions to find all of that. You didn't ask her one of those questions. She said, yes, because if you ask those questions, you bring the person deeper down into their unresourceful state. And I went, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And then I asked, and you didn't even ask her about the environments or the traumas she had, or all the reasons that we usually in psychology study about what makes what is called depression. And Tanya said, I prefer to focus on giving the change as quickly as I can. The more quickly I get someone to look up, breathe differently, move differently, the more powerfully I can connect them to their resources. And the more instantly I can give them a feeling of change, the greater is my possibility to create results and to make that change. That is my focus. So as I'm in this clunk experience, I just went, wow, I understood not only that I lost 7 hours with Karen, but so much more time that I was using to trying to analyze problems. So she said many more things. And if we had more time, I would certainly share much more with you. However, I want to fast forward to the end of that interaction, which was the end of part 1 of the training, the end of part 2 of the training. All the master trainers left, all the counselors left, and I was the last one running after Tanya. And I was the kind of student who pats her on the back and says, but I have another question. I have another question. And I asked Tanya, please share more with me where you have learned all of this. What is it that you have studied? And that was the first time in 1987 in Seattle, Washington, USA, where I heard the word Neuro-Linguistic Programming. She said, I just taken a course in Neuro-Linguistic Programming, but I didn't complete it and I don't have the certificate yet. I'm just in it. So that's what I'm using and that's what I believe in. Goodbye. And I was still trying to run after, but she had to go. And so I wrote down Neuro-Linguistic Programming. What a complicated word. What does that mean? But she was gone and I couldn't ask her more questions. Plus, please imagine 1987, that was before Google. So here I am with this long word, not even really knowing, you know what it is, but I made it. I was so driven by my Clunk experience that within 2 months, I found the Neuro-Linguistic course in Seattle. It was on close to Green Lake with a person called Raina, who later became my best friend. And this was the start of my career in Neuro-Linguistic Programming. From that moment on, I took one neuro-linguistic training after the other, after the other, until today. I have done 18-day practitioners 4 times, 20-day masters so many times, and I have excelled in NLP in so many ways that now I am a master trainer, which is very rare, from the NLP Connection, which is one branch. There's 4 branches of the original Society of NLP, and I am directly linked. I know most of the owners, and I'm directly linked to most of the senior trainers of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So I'm so happy to bring to you the original NLP, the NLP as it was meant to be, as it was created in the end of the 70s by Richard Bandler, John Grinder, and Christina Hall. And when you look at the top of this slide, you see 3 logos. One is my logo. I have a certification body since 30 years, Conscious Solutions. Then you see ABNLP. I'm an approved licensed certifier through the biggest board of hypnotherapy and NLP in the world. And that symbol on the left side is the symbol for the original quality and the origination of NLP, because it came in the 70s from Santa Cruz, and everybody else was taking from there and abbreviating and melting and merging. And I'm sad to say, but that is how it is. Most of the NLP that you get, particularly from schools who just offer technique-based fast courses, it is very, very far from what NLP originally was meant to be. And there is no way that you can teach in 5 days what we used to do in 20 days. So you get with me a senior trainer who is grounded and founded in the original NLP and in the original knowledge and art of studying the paradigms of human being. And altogether, NLP is about programming yourself for happiness and for success. So I would like to engage in a little exercise now. In order to participate in the exercise and to get most out of this evening, you can only participate if you have your video on. This is how I work. I'm not a theory-based teacher. I'm not just throwing knowledge at you. I'm working with you directly. So would you be open to engage in a very small little activity? Yes, Camilla is. Kiati, are you? Amin, are you? Sebastian? Carol? You are so welcome. So we want to go through exploring how our thought influences what we can or cannot do. Because see, it is our thought that makes us think we are lesser than thou, that makes us be too serious, that makes us be unresourceful, or that makes us repeat the same patterns over and over again. Any of the difficulties, depression, frustration, anger, loneliness, difficulty in relationship, challenges in exchange, not finding the job that one wants, not expressing oneself to one's highest potential. All of that has to do with that something goes on inside, isn't it? Would everybody agree? Can I see hands? See, before I go into this demonstration, which actually is an experience that we all, Mohammed, Ruba, could we see your video, please? You just raised your hand. May I hear your question? I'm seeing when people chat here, but I'm not seeing Ruba. Do you see Ruba? You are welcome, Ruba. Oh, I have to look in the chat box. So sorry, but during the teaching, I cannot read the chats. I will read them at the end and then answer them at the end. There are 7 people who are not joining. I hope it's nothing that I do wrongly. Maybe I should, can you give me 1 minute to look in the chat just to make sure that I'm not doing something incorrectly? Chat. Please, everybody join. It is much more fun when you join. I appreciate it. I thank you. So that, of course, everything is rooted in the way we think. And so our thought is directly linked to our emotions. It's all connected in the brain. Basically, we are looking at what happens in the brain. So in the class, I normally let everybody walk around and do lots of different exercises. However, I'm looking at you and Kiati and Carol, Sally, Felix also, and Amin, you all look like you are kind of with the chair against the wall. So at least do something for me. Would you move a little bit? Move a little bit. Don't sit so still. Don't sit so serious. Move a little bit. Yes. Move a little bit. Nice, Amin. I like your smile. So imagine somebody whispers into your left ear, you can't do it. You cannot do it. It's very hard. I would like for you to just repeat that inside of you. Say to yourself, I cannot do it. It's very hard. I can't do it. Ooh, look around. What do you see? Seriousness. I meant look around into the other people's faces. But that's a good thing too, Felix. Look around. Even if you look through the eyes of I can't do it, literally your environment will look different. Now we are seeing certain expressions on the faces of the other people, but would you please explain what happens? What happened to your breathing? What happened to your muscles? What just happened? Please respond. Yes, Camilla?
Hi, yeah, I got nervous and upset.
So quickly, isn't it? Then, Amin, you looked a little more pale. Sebastian, you looked a little more serious. Kiati, what were you aware of? Kiati, what were you aware of?
It was a little uncomfortable feeling, a little upsetting in the beginning, but then it's like really like a question mark. Really, do you think so?
But you had a little longer time to think. Now, Sally, I think you may have done that exercise with me before. So now we are, of course, just putting a hold and putting light on what happens when you talk to yourself. Because guess what? Humans have a neocortex. And in our neocortex is language. And we speak to ourselves. Everybody does. Some of us are more aware, some less. May I see? And it's okay. Who is aware that you talk to yourself? And who is aware even more now that of course the way you talk to yourself is directly influencing what you can attract, what you don't attract, how you perceive the world, what is your reality? Thank you, Sally. Yes. So if there is any negative internal dialogue that sets out what is going to come to you. So can we please shake it off? Shake, 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 say shake, 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 shake. And now, of course, we undo it and we redo it and we reprogram. The first little exercise I can give you, reprogram yourself. And now just imagine somebody whispers into your right ear. And would you please repeat and say to yourself over and over again, I can do it. It's very simple. It's very easy. I can do it. Oh, the facial color of Sebastian looks different. The facial color within Kiati immediately. Look how Sally looks. What happened? Now, what are you aware? What happened to you?
It was a little more settling thing, which is like, okay, you can look forward to it.
Yes. I mean, what are you aware of? Things look brighter? And Sebastian?
Yes, it's a much better feeling actually.
Yes. Yes. So this is just a small, minute little example of what we are going to go into with neuro-linguistic programming and with reprogramming. The first thing we are learning is how our internal dialogue influences. I have some fun photos for you. Of course, it is about consciously shifting our mindset. Just as one of the basic, small basic steps. And here is what happens when we say to ourselves negative messages. When we have negative internal dialogue, it influences. Now, I'm not saying that every sentence you say immediately becomes reality. However, you just saw how it immediately influences your facial expression, your breathing, your shoulders. So that, of course, we are supposed to notice. The sooner we notice that we have negative internal dialogue, the sooner we can be aware and then say the kind of things to ourselves that are positive and that allow us to get what we want and that allow us to solve challenging situations differently and that simply change our mood. Does that make sense so far? Anybody has any question? Yes, Camelia? Good, good, good. So, of course, it's all about mastering our emotions and mastering our mindsets. And as we master our emotions and our mindsets, we'll directly work with what we as humans have, which is the alphabet and language. If you for a moment think about what makes you different from any other creature, it is that you have more than the reptile brain. For a moment, could you take one hand and hold it back here in the back of your skull, in the back of your brain, and say, this is my reptile brain? Can you say, this is my reptile brain? Loud? Yes. And then, would you please take your two hands and touch here? And then say, this is my neocortex. This is my neocortex. And then in the middle somewhere is the amygdala, and then there's the midbrain. We have the biggest neocortex of all beings, all mammals, all living beings, because we have language. And guess what? We are supposed to use language, because if you have any of the things, you may sit here tonight thinking, I have frustration, I would like to change it. I am too stressed too easily, I would like to change it. I am numb, I'm too serious, I would like to change it. I get too easily affected of everyone else around me, I would like to change it. I have too much anxiety and fear, I would like to change it. See, I don't want to talk about the situation that we all are in. We talk about it enough and you see about it enough. In a pandemic, it is not the virus. It is the F virus. It means the fear that makes everything so much more terrible, that makes everything be locked down in so many more ways. Fear. So maybe fear is what is created. Fear is what tortures us. Fear is what hunts us. And then all forms of anxieties. So guess what? How do you know that you have a negative emotion? First of all, who knows any of all these emotions that I have just mentioned? Anxiety, fear. Yes, thank you, thank you. So would you please touch again your reptile brain and say, it means information is stuck in the reptile brain. Simply stuck in the reptile brain. Because it's your reptile brain that shoots out the adrenals. And it goes so fast. So the adrenals are shot out, and that makes stress, huffing, puffing, or low serotonin. So they are different. I can't say it all that quickly. I just want you to know that when you feel bad, when you have negative emotions, blood flows to your reptile brain. And when the blood flows to your reptile brain and it's pumping and the adrenals are shooting, the blood cannot flow to your neocortex. But we humans are meant to use our neocortex. We are meant to take a moment, sit back, think, and change. Human beings are meant to metacognize, to recognize, to think. And I believe many of those ways of thinking, of overcoming emotions, of understanding the basics of what is a thought should be taught in school. It should be mandatory. NLP should be mandatory in schools. What do you think, Sally? Raja, you are so very welcome. Please turn your video on. So we have talked about the one thing that we have, because we have linguistics in our neocortex, which is talking to ourselves. And most of you have raised your hand when I ask. Now I'm asking you, who is aware of the movies? Who's aware of pictures that happen inside of you? Thank you, Camelia. And some of us are and some of us are not. See, the most amazing change tool that Richard Bandler and John Grinder already gave us in the end of the 70s was the phobia cure. It is an amazing, amazing technique. It just has like 8 to 10 steps to reverse any adrenal shoot out from the limbic brain. It just gives you some interruptions and some jerking, some rewinding, some super imprinting, basically in order to reprogram something like a fear response or an adrenal kick. One has to do something that is intense. So this phobia cure is basically many steps where you get to disassociate, where you get to watch something and in black and white, and then you use your body and you step up and you do something. So there are several steps, but afterwards it's gone because it's a picture. Whenever you make the brain shoot out adrenals, there must be a picture in the brain. It's not possible differently. That's what they found out. They invested at least 10 years to look at hundreds and hundreds of cases of adrenal kicks. For example, they particularly studied with veterans. Now, what makes a veteran? Years after, sometimes 20 years after the war. Can you turn off that noise in the background? I have to help you. I'm going to quickly see where that noise comes from. Okay, it disappeared, no? All right. So, so one veteran after the other was there in one demonstration where this model was practiced. And see what a phenomena. It is 20 years after the war. And in this very case, I remember it very well. It was this young man, I mean, he was older by then, soldier from the Vietnam War. When he would hear the fireworks, the sound of the boom, the bullet of the firework, it would give him the full response of what is called post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Of course, there's a picture in the brain that makes the memory of the war 20 years later. What a suffering. And I would like for you to really take a moment and notice that's the kind of suffering where we humans make more suffering than any other creature. Because our brain is so advanced that it can make so many pictures and it can make so many effects that it can be to the detriment. So that's what makes me come back and share with you that I firmly know and believe that we are meant to guide this process. We are not meant to be subject to our reptile brain. We are not meant to be subject to that our thought viruses, oops, that is not such a good thing to say at this time. So basically, when we repeat negative experiences of the past, and when we keep thinking that, and when we keep criticizing ourselves, when we keep judging, we are slaves of our thoughts. Who is very good at judging self? Being critical of self? Can I see hands? Thank you, Camelia. Who else knows? Yes. If we let this machine work, it's natural to happen because it's part of our conditioning. Most of us are grown up with strict voices, with negative comments, with none of us is grown up learning love and self-love. Come on. We have to work hard to build that in ourselves. So with NLP, you learn that if you don't work on it, you make it worse. You learn that you can program yourself for success, that you can think in ways so that you can attract health to the degree that you can influence it with your mind. Fitness, exercise, discipline, self-care, self-love, positive emotions, attracting the relationships that are helpful to you, that are good for you. Attracting success, wealth, money, and happiness without effort. Because our positive states of mind and our positive emotions are needed. So how can we become better masters of this inner process? I have just one little trick for you, because everybody did the left, the voice that comes into your left, and then we shook it off, and then the voice that comes into the right ear, right? Would you like a little technique, very small, very amazing, very powerful, that you can use from now on? So see, it's all about awareness. Because if it's about you programming yourself, you have to be aware. If you come to me and I give you a session and I can fix each and everything that a human can possibly create, because I'm doing it for 35 years. So you are very welcome to consider to come to me, and I can help you and I can fix it. So long would you please learn to be aware and sharpen your awareness of your inner pictures and your inner thoughts. Where's that slide? I'm a little bit moving around in my slides today. Hold on. There was one slide where I tell you that it's the inner stories and the inner movies. Did you see that? I just saw it. Yeah. So basically, what you learn in NLP is that this mindset is made of inner stories, the way you talk to yourself, and inner pictures and movies, and much more. Tonight, let's just say inner stories and inner movies. It is nothing from outside. We think it's the outside or the situation or what the world goes through. No, it's all up to you. Begin to point the arrow to yourself. You are the only one who can create the change. Who believes that? So when you from today on, notice, thank you, Racha, when you notice that there's a thought, that there's an internal dialogue, just, of course, the negative one, the positive one you want to make stronger. But once you notice that there is a negative thought, immediately go pat yourself on your shoulder. Could you take your right hand, please, and pat yourself on your right shoulder and say, I noticed. Everybody, just go and say, I noticed. With a curious voice. I like to use theatrical voices. I like to be very animated. I think teaching should be entertainment. There's another reason in neuro-linguistic programming, we work with neuro-intensity. So if you just say to yourself, okay, I had a thought, I noticed. There's not much neuro-intensity. So would you please say it with curiosity, please feel free to imitate my animation. And one more time, whenever you hear negative internal dialogue, would you please take your hand, pat yourself on your shoulder and go, I noticed. I noticed. So we want to build this response as doing something physically until we have downloaded this response more, and it can be more automatic until later you only say to yourself, I noticed. Maybe you are in an office, Sebastian, working, or Felix, or you are in a professional situation and you don't want to do this. I do. I don't care what other people think about me. But if you do care, then you just loudly say, I noticed, inside of your head, and actually jerk yourself out of it and simply change your body. The moment you change your body, you make a move. Sometimes in a meeting when there's too many negativity, I do this. I drop a pen. I pick up, not like this, so that it doesn't look like I'm doing it intentionally. I pick up the pen. Oh, sorry. I created a moment. Basically, we need to work with interruption within ourselves and also within our environments. So you learned how to do this with your negative internal dialogue. Now, most of you also have raised your hand that you are aware when you have negative pictures. We have learned tonight that anything that makes anxiety, fear, trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder was our example, is originated by pictures of the past in the brain. Of course, not conscious, most of the time not conscious. But even if you are conscious, still we are not able to change it because it needs to be reprogrammed. There needs to be an intensity and a process to unhook that strong program so that you can place another one. So if you are aware of your inner pictures, would you please again go, I noticed. Everybody, I noticed. I noticed. Nice, Kiata. And then when you are aware, please a little smile. Thank you, Kiata. A little smile. That is so much better. Because see, Camelia, thank you. Because see, some of us, it's called the self-criticism. It's actually called the whip of martyrdom. Hitting yourself or hitting yourself, criticizing yourself or criticizing. I did it wrong, now I'm bad that I did it wrong. Felix knows what I mean, right? And it makes us serious. It makes us too serious. So the sooner you notice, thank you, Felix, the faster you can make a difference. Just as soon as you can, when you see those negative pictures or when you notice, oh, I'm dwelling about the past, it already has happened. And I pull it forth and make myself negative feelings now. Come on, you are not meant to do that. So would you please take your hand, pat yourself again on your shoulder and go, I noticed. I noticed. Thank you, Sally. Thank you to come back and do this simple practice. And now, everyone, one future situation. Maybe tonight, you get that phone call of somebody criticizing you. The best is with the parents or the loved ones, right? They get us so quickly into an unresourceful state. Or, you know, letting yourself be caught by the news. I know how much time a day I'll watch the news. I know what I watch, and I do not watch this before I go to bed. Do I want to initiate negative dreams? No. I know what's going on. It's not about neglecting what is going on. But if you, people nowadays watch all day long about the pandemic and then they wonder that they feel bad. You're not supposed to watch that so many hours. Decide how much you watch it. I watch it twice, 10 minutes, max 20 minutes, but not more. I don't need more to know what's going on in the world and to be aware. Everything else is fear creating, even to me, who I can say with gladness that all these 35 years of working on myself with psychology and neuro-linguistic programming, good news, I don't have to listen to my negative internal dialogue anymore. Oh, good news, it's possible. I'm about 90% in happiness, in freshness, in wonderfulness, in being fine, in having my smile, because I prefer to. So, that I noticed should go with you into forever so that you can more consciously determine your states of mind. So I have some more little techniques for you, but I would like to come back to actually asking you, giving a little space for your questions or for your ideas. I have talked a lot and I've led you through a story about how I learned about NLP. And I have explained to you a little bit about the basics of some part of NLP and the brain and the reptile brain and the neocortex. And
finally.
With negative emotions. Oh, somebody came on. Who is this?
Sorry, I tried to join, but I think I had some difficulties. Sorry for disturbance.
Can you show your video?
I could. I'm just trying to figure out how that works.
Hey,
Because
Helen, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just 45 minutes. I'm just trying to figure out how to start this Zoom on my phone. And I just gave 6 minutes.
Next time, type to Illuminations and they help you.
I did, but nobody answered. Actually, I thought I will figure it out myself, but couldn't. Sorry, everyone. I just jumped in the middle of the meeting.
You are so welcome. So we are kind of concluding because we have looked at how we change our states of mind. We have looked at when we talk to ourselves negatively, and we did this process of then talking to ourselves positively. You saw the picture of the man who lies flat because he can't do anything anymore because of his negative internal dialogue. And then how we all immediately, instantly changed once we intentionally and consciously changed that internal dialogue. So before I go into telling you a little bit what could be your next step, because this is a free webinar that gives you skills and knowledge, it is also a promotional event to inform you about the events that are upcoming and the steps that you can take to learn NLP. Before we go there, any question so far about some of the things we have discussed and the experiences I've led you through tonight? Or maybe just sharing what you learned. What did you learn? What was your aha so far? Felix, what was your aha? What did you learn tonight?
Hi, Doris. What I learned is every time I can tap myself and think positively. That's one thing which is very important during the negativity which is prevailing around the world due to so many situational aspects. I think it's very important that you need to, many a time you need to tap yourself and think in a positive way.
Yes.
In fact, I connected a little late because my internet was a little problem, but I think I caught on very well with you.
Thank you. What else did you learn, or what else was your aha tonight?
I'm looking forward actually to see more deeper into this NLP because basically, see, I'm an HR guy, HR manager. So I would like to use it for the company and to share it with a lot of people and make a transformation from a negativity to positive. So I think that's what the main catch for me tonight.
Yes, because see, it starts with our thoughts, but then the talk to ourselves, of course, is directly related how we talk to others.
Yes, very important.
Yeah, how we talk to others by, again, guiding more consciously that self-talk. And there's so many, I mean, it was really, really made simple tonight, but there's so many more tricks and tools and skills that will amazingly help you to empower yourself and to learn more. Anybody else would like to share what you learned tonight? Kiati?
So my aha moment was just understanding that what I knew before definitely stands true. I've read about, training your mind. This is basically a mind science in a way. And I'm definitely encouraged to learn more about it. At the same point in time, yes, it reinforces that it is the individual himself or herself to make sure that the environment around is positive if you really want to go ahead into pursuing something rather than chasing something and falling short of positivity or energy to do it.
Okay, something was blinking. I thought I had to. Yes, thank you, Kiati. And please understand, NLP is a large body of knowledge. I shared at the beginning.
Yes.
Training 20 days. And I did that 4 times. And master training also 20 days. And I did that 4 times before I even thought about teaching it. And I have conducted all levels of NLP, not only foundation, practitioner, and master, but I'm also a trainer of trainer. So you can come to me and become a trainer. So it's my whole life. I'm not doing anything else but that. And NLP is far exceeding normal mindfulness, far exceeding normal awareness of, of course, everybody has learned ABC of self-development, be more aware of yourself, influence yourself consciously. What NLP gives you is many hands-on tools how to do this programming and how to make the effect in a way that it's lasting. If we get a little time, I have some more techniques to you, but I would like to first, am I sharing the slideshow? Can you see the slideshow? So basically, when you look at in common to all these phenomena, misunderstanding, conflict, terrible work atmospheres, accusation, poor leadership, poor counseling, all of it together, you can say, is missing coaching and is missing NLP. I believe that taking advice from someone else is a natural thing. It's a needed thing. Because see, we can only go that far according to our programs. The brain is a little bit like a computer. Where is the computer coming from? Desperate attempt to in some way imitate what the brain does. So just like you program your computer, you can program yourself. You can program your thoughts, and you can program yourself for happiness and success. Now there's challenging news and good news. The challenging news is it's a process that you have to learn, because not everybody can just I don't even know what to do if my computer doesn't work. I don't claim to be a technician. You can't just handle this complicated apparatus brain by itself. There are steps to learn, there are steps to study. So challenging news, it means investing time and money. And typically, the higher up the advanced level is, no, actually, that's not true. There's many people who brand themselves and they charge much higher than me, even though I'm on the top of the line. There's only another about 5 people in the world who have greater seniority and greater MetaMaster trainership, one of which is Christina Hall from the Society of NLP and owner. She will sign your certificate. This is truthful international certification coming in old-fashioned style. They don't do WhatsApp pictures, or they don't do any pre-signed things. I just got the envelope for my next batch of signatures for NLP Master Practitioner and Master Coach. This certificate comes from Santa Cruz and is signed by one of the originators of NLP and you have a number. You will be tracked as an SNLP member and as an NLP certification holder, which is the only truthful international certification that you can get. Because there are many logos and there's many certificates and you see them all rich with different logos. Most of them are bought, and it just means that an organization charges a hell lot of money for an organization to be able to use that logo, but most certificates are not hand-signed when they come from an international location. So that is just a little bit of something that you think about if you are interested to be truthfully certified internationally. And I would like to encourage you tonight that if you don't think of NLP and coaching as a part of your profession, and I do want you to think about it, because it is in demand. People need coaching and people need coaches. So would you please notice that it is not just for you to self-develop yourself, but to stop any form of self-sabotage. Can the person who is eating and clicking with the plates, could you turn off, please, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. So stop self-sabotage, stop suffering, stop wasting time and effort, and stop damaging relationships. Thank you for being here tonight, Felix. As a professional, the relationships that you engage in and that you are responsible for, and please also your personal relationships. How much harm do we do to each other, accusing each other, haggling, battling, arguing? It is coming from the limbic brain. And if we don't do something about it, it's very fast. I believe we have to reprogram ourselves. Back to my story that I shared with you, how I got to NLP in 1987 in Seattle. That's what I learned. And that's how I changed my whole career, my whole focus on understanding about people's problems changed into reprogramming, into finding the pattern that matters, into using the paradigms that make the shifts, and into focusing on the positive. NLP gives you the power of your remote control in your hand. And if you see that simple remote control in this picture, I'd like for you to see at least 100 or 200 buttons that you will learn to press. NLP gives you so many different distinctions. How thought is made, how emotions are made, how our unwanted responses happen. And it gives you so many tools to undo it, to redo it, and to reprogram. And reprogram from the heart, with ethics, with a concern about other people, not technically. That again is a very big difference. You may find many NLP schools that do kind of fast work, technique-based work, meta work. It's more about the meta, about the technique itself. The NLP you get with me is purpose-based, is relationship-based, and comes from a place of ethic. In today's world, leaders, trainers, healers, soft skill teachers, of course HR, all leaders can gain from coaching because we are already coaches and people already come to us and we help them. Can I see hands? For who is this true? You are already helping people. You are already counseling. You are already gathering information to make a big, good difference in your environments, aren't you? So coaching and NLP gives you the skills. It's a sought after career. It's more and more in demand. Even nowadays online, people need help. People want to grow. People want to expand and excel. I also have many courses in NLP and business and NLP and sales based on relationship utilization and emotional engagement. And basically, you learn how to overcome the negative emotions and states of mind we have talked about, and how to create and maintain much greater levels, not only of happiness and success, but also of satisfaction, calmness, inner peace, silence, wealth on all levels, and health on all levels. And I like to share what NLP has given me, besides all my knowledge as a naturopathic doctor, besides all my knowledge of psychotherapy and degrees in counseling and degrees in emotional release therapies, and besides so many esoteric directions and so many things I have studied. It helps inner freedom, because we need to free ourselves from the warps that make the negative thinking, that make the unhappiness, and that make us not express the way we actually can. And thank you, Felix. Despite challenges, despite situations, despite pandemic. So NLP and coaching together is what makes you grow together, personally and professionally. And in a way, what you are getting with this NLP at Illuminations, that's why Illuminations in Dubai has chosen me as their master trainer and teacher. I bring in emotional intelligence and the work with emotions together with coaching and the fantastic neuro-linguistic programming techniques that make this course be outstanding. It is body-centered. Even in the online course, for whoever, please consider to join this weekend. We will use our body, we will move around. I will make you interact exactly like you interact in the group room. We have these breakout. I don't think I was believing that in March when it all started. I had one student of mine who was a Zoom master. He brought his whole school in Hyderabad, 50 facilitators. Within 1-2 weeks, he made them all learn all the details and nitty-gritties of Zoom. And he said, Dr. Doris, you are going to teach your courses online. And I said, I don't think so. And within 2 weeks, he showed me everything is possible, to the degree that he makes me have this, what is it? I show you. Now it's not here. There's this stilo. It's a stilo. It looks like a normal little pen, and you can write on a whiteboard, and you can, when you are in a group room with 2 or 3 people, you can design things together. We've just spent 6 days. I've just conducted a trainer's training, and they would put pictures together, melt things, and create collages. I never thought this is possible online. It's like a new era. Something new is opening, and there's so much that is possible online. What you should make a note of is, of course, we are particularly promoting and supporting you to come to us at this time, because it's a good study time. And what you get is several benefits. One is you have a free retake, even more than one, free to come whenever I'm back in Dubai, or to come to any course that I'm leading anywhere else in the world. So once you sign up for one course, you have a free retake Also, you get all the recordings inclusive of the video for free, and there's lots of manuals and there's lots of material that comes with the course, plus a forum that you will be able to participate and belong to already after 5 days. Particularly people who come to the master coach and already give sessions with me and under me with my mentorship will participate. And you will literally have keys in your hand that make a difference for you. So this coaching training is in 3 levels, and level 1 starts with the weekend now, this weekend. And you can only come for the weekend and get a taste and see how you like it before you see whether you want to go for the whole coaching education. And then there is a level 2 in July and a level 3 in September that will enable you to become a master coach this year, if you want to. And often people enjoy to do just, you know, the first 2 days first or the first 5 days first. So after the first 5 days, you will be certified as an NLP practitioner, which is acknowledged all over the world as the basic level of NLP. Wonderful, you are so welcome. So do you have any questions? Can I help you? Please unmute yourself. Now we can listen to the noises of the chattering and the...
Thank you, Doris. I was also wondering if you provided one-on-one sessions, or are you not doing that at the time?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I can have RJ connect with you. He's my representative. I'll give you his number so
Okay.
you can more easily at Illumination. I think you can always reach anyone through the reception, but
Okay.
Representative is 568002930, and you can enroll for either one or a whole package. However, Camelia, may I give a little suggestion?
Yes.
You will get more if you do the weekend, because if you join both days, you get 14 hours for much
Is
less.
it 5 hours consecutive on, like, I'm not quite sure because I was looking at this, at 9:30. So are there breaks in between, or how is this?
So typically what we actually do is we do a 1.5 hour, 2 hour break. The group is going to be small. We are not going, I don't think we are going to be more than 10. And so we'll all know each other, see each other, interact with each other, and I pace what is comfortable to people. I was ready to do a 2 hour break, but people were so fascinated and they said, well, if we have a choice, we rather want to listen to you or get you. So it's not as cumbersome as you think. Have you ever done a longer online session, Camelia?
I've done, I recently got certified as an art therapist, and it was a little bit tiring. It was interesting, but I tend to have shorter attention spans. So I was just wondering about the length and,
So how many hours a day was that?
Sorry, it was 36 hours, but it was, I mean, I basically had to sit for a few online sessions. I mean, it was all right. It was not too bad, but, you know, I just tend to, I was just wondering how it worked here, because...
Well, I'll make you get up and move around. You'll never sit as long as tonight. For the webinar, I don't use what is called emotion yoga and transformational movement and moving around. And then there's, have you been in breakout rooms in your art education?
No.
So we do the breakout rooms, and then you just click on one click and then you go in pairs Like, let's say I pair you up with Felix, I pair up Kiata with Sebastian or Armin, and you will be in little rooms within one little click. And then I can come into the room and guide you. So you'll do the same pair exercise. Basically, the whole program, how I've been running it for 30 years, is exactly online possible. And I tell you, I didn't believe it myself. Now, some people feel a little more exhausted because, of course, the brain is not used to it. For me, the first two, I had to do it 2 days in a row, 8 hours a day, and my brain was not used to it. It was the first time that I had to look like this, and I literally was very, very tired. I never fall asleep after training because it actually rejuvenates and energizes me. But after the first 2 days, I was like flat laying. My husband thought I'm sick. I was just sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. And when I woke up, I was fine. And now I'm used to it. And now it's not, of course, it's a little more exhausting, Camelia, than when you can get up and move around. You know, of course, we miss our tea corners and hanging out and having coffee together, of course. But, you know, compared to what is going on in the world and what is possible, it's just an incredible chance to do something very valuable for yourself.
Okay. And how do we sign up? We just go on to Illumination and sign up there, right?
What I can do is I can have RJ, my representative, connect with you tomorrow. Which time is good for you?
Morning is good for me, around 10:30-ish onwards.
So I'll let him know. He may come into the office. I think he works until 7 or 8. He's
Okay.
gone now.
Okay.
I tell him to connect with you right away. If it is 11 a.m. or 12 or noonish.
Yes.
And he can help you to sign up right away. You're so welcome. And how about Felix? Are you going to join us?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, very interesting and very important subject that it's going to add up to my career. And I'm in touch with Erica in Dubai. So I think probably I'll interact with her and see how I can sign up for this.
Nice. Yes. Have you done other courses that she's on top of?
Who, Erica?
Yeah, I know.
No, I just interacted with her for this particular session with you. So she connected me. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Okay, super. So you prefer she will give you a call, or can RJ give you a call?
I think she will give me a call tomorrow. I think that's what she said. So I think I should respect that. So
nice.
And remember that. Sorry?
At which time would you like that?
Maybe around 11:30 in the morning.
Okay. And how are you, Kiati?
Sorry, Doris, I'm just going to sign out because I'm going to run out now. But thank you so much.
All
And
right.
I will
So
see you.
bring a nice writing book.
Yes.
If you can, bring colored papers, because what I normally in the class give to people, we'll write it to you in the mail. We prepare things so we can make, little notes and, can basically give little instructions. So I have a whole table full of little signs that makes it a little nicer. And otherwise, of course, lots of water and all the rest I do.
Well, everything's accessible here, so that's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you on Friday at 9 a.m.
See you. Bye-bye. Bye.
See you on Friday. Bye-bye. Yay. Good. And you too, Felix. Do you think you're coming for the weekend or for all the 5 days?
Let me just work it out, because I just need to see my calendar, because this is I think it's a Friday it starts, right? Friday and Saturday,
Yes.
right? That's the.
Basically, all Friday or Saturday, the 3rd and the 4th, from 9 a.m.
Mhm.
to 5 p.m. And we'll give it
Okay.
as long pause as you need. Even if everybody says, please, Dr. Doris, stay 1 hour longer,
Uh-huh.
1 hour longer pause. It's a small group, so we can still make decisions, but the pre-given frame would be 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Of course, every 1.5 hours tea pause, and at least
Yes. Mm.
75 minutes lunch, probably 90 minutes lunch. And you get all the material. You basically get much more than if you do it in person.
Mm.
Normally, we cannot give the whole recording, but they are done so easily with the Zoom that the assistant will say, I will have a moderator who's doing all the technical things, and the assistant will send you on the same day all the recordings. And of course, I will send you the manual in the mail the day before. As soon as you are officially signed up, I will send everything to you.
I will work it out, Doris, because actually only one problem this Friday, there's a church activities on. So I'm part of certain programs. So I just need to adjust that according to calendar. So that was the only thing which was my mind. So, sorry.
Which time is that?
It's around 10 of UAE time. So that's where you're talking about UAE time, right? 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, 9 a.m. UAE time. Well, you know, you can jump out for 1 hour. If you come for 5 days, it wouldn't matter. You can make it up. I would.
Yeah, that's
probably what happens though is once you are in the training, you will say that you want to stay and you want to continue.
yeah, very much. I mean, that's my intention. I want to do it in a complete program, so I don't get interrupted. But this thing, which is already committed in the last few days, so I just have to rework it out. That's why I said by tomorrow I should be having a fair enough picture of that.
Well, even if you have to miss a little time, we can make it up.
Definitely, Doris. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Well, I very much welcome you to.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you. It was wonderful listening to you.
20-30% of people in the last 30 years are HR professionals who find to this course.
Great. No, it's going to be a very strong thing for me because I interact with a lot of students, university students. I give career management courses. So this NLP will be a great point for me to talk on the negativities, and so I think it's going to be a very interesting program.
Yay!
Thank you, Doris. Thank you.
You rock. Thank you, Felix. I see you on Friday at 9. And if you have to jump out, jump out.
I will do it. Hopefully, definitely, sure. Anyway, have a nice day. Thank you. I'll be